by Grim Graham, and I'm here to talk to you about MetaPCs.com. I'll get it again. Thank you, Ex-Underlord. Thank you, Uncle Chris. Thank you, supposedly good. I watched my father die drowning in his own blood. The Republicans want to take away the Juneteenth celebration. Yep. The leftists won't quit until every white person's dead. When we're done gardening, I'm going to go tweet the N-word. Whenever I ejaculate, I go, woo! The last stream he did was on the 20th of September, and it's probably one of the most e-begging streams he's done in quite a while, where he will repeatedly bring up wanting to do a hype train, or asking, oh, can we get a hype train going? Or like complaining then when the hype train ends.
Choose your character.
Text-to-speech into streams to try and get more money, but because he couldn't get it to work, it was just really obvious this time.
I don't discuss problems, I
typing in jokes and stuff like that, and then playing on stream and reacting to them like it's the first time. But because he's really bad at typing, he like reads out the joke to himself as he's typing in, and then plays. It was so awkward, and also all the jokes were like, "Oh, Daddy, don't think you're like that, no." Stuff like that, just like trying to be like, "Well, molestation jokes, am I right, guys?" Like, I'm glad Boogie hasn't learned from his whole like, "Don't do edgy jokes" thing, because it doesn't really work for you. You know what he claimed a month ago, was it, that he's doing an Andy Kaufman-esque character and being offensive and all to like mess around with people, but he's realized that was a bad thing and he's so sorry for doing it. Like, we're literally just back to doing that again. He also touches on the Twitch controversy, where he makes up a story about how in 2018 a Twitch rep was trying to convince him to get a better contract to earn more money, but he turned them down because he would only be allowed to stream on Twitch, and that would make him lose money on YouTube. You know, even though he never streams on YouTube. So it was clearly a lie. Like, he's only started doing that since like 2019. I don't know, it's just like he's trying to manipulate his fans into donating more.
Prepare yourself!
You donate so much and support me so much, but you know, on YouTube I do get more people and I'm starting to get more money on it, so who knows? But you know, you guys do get so much, I'm going to stay. You know, just shit like that. It's so very manipulative. I'm also kind of like disappointed that he didn't make a video with recent rounds of Auto League. Because again, it's so fucking bad. He also brings up with okay, first step. I think we get done.
Match point. Blue team. Quit shooting that green gloop already. Game factor.
You are literally down because of the guard down, right? You're not sure it's because of what he was
Victory!
especially in the stream with him shilling literally every fucking 50 minutes or so. Shilling meta PC wins 6 times in the stream, literally minutes at a time. And that's the way.
Rematch?
Jokes in fucking massive quotation marks about wanting people to give him money.
Let's go!
He talks about how he is great for stream, but he loves that who's the gold beggar stream. Of course, then later on, he will say that he's great for schools are lying about him. And also that they
Choose
are
your character.
autistic and bullying him. It's just so weird. Now that he thinks he's been diagnosed as autistic, he just thinks he can start saying autistic as an insult to everyone like that, and it won't affect like his super lefty PC crowd, which he really needs to be careful about because like they're the type of people alive for using negative language. And of course, during this, he also repeatedly talks about how Reddit is evil and harasses him, and he never once mentions Kiwi Farms. It's weird. It's almost like he knows it's back and he's scared of it again, or he just made up a whole thing where Kiwi Farms was evil and did everything bad to him, and it wasn't actually Reddit the whole fucking time. And of course, we also get the other standard element for all of his fucking streams, him ranting about the Tesla situation all fucking over again. This time, however, it has him reenacting it, and he claims that if you listen to it, he's doing a preacher voice because he was playing a character, and how if you actually look at live stream fields, the top rated comment is someone saying he's clearly playing a preacher character. Really, Boogie? Really? So if I play this clip here in a second, you're gonna be speaking like a preacher, and donate to me, hand over that money. You're gonna be speaking like that? Okay, well I can't wait, let's play it.
So then it really started to hit me. I really started to panic. I really started to get scared. So I tweeted out that I was not going to be able to afford this car. Reddit and Twitter lost their fucking minds. Oh, are you trying to manipulate people into giving you money? The answer is yes. Give me some money. Also, no, I just realized that when I got home, the car was fucking expensive, and I didn't realize. But the problem is, I was there with Jesse. Jesse was buying the car anyway. For your future car, you can get a used one. Hopefully, you can get one eventually. So don't be jealous just because I bought a car. You can buy a car too. This is my first brand new car. I guess when I say something like, hey everybody, if you got an Amazon Prime subscription laying around, don't forget, you could give it to me, and I would love to have it. Amazon Prime gives you a free subscription every month, and if you click that button, and it's your first subscription, I'll give you a warble, and I'll give you a shout out. I'll say, thank you very much, I'm so grateful, everybody, right? But that's just right? I think the thing that really got me in trouble is when I almost bought a Tesla, and then I did my preacher character, and I was like pretending I was being hyperbolic, obviously. But it went viral on Reddit, and what I was doing like this is like, so everybody do me a favor, reach down in your pockets and give me your money. I know you guys will not pay for my Tesla, so give me your money and I'll gladly do it. I'm gonna use your money. One of you can give me $100,000, or two of you can give me $50,000, or four of you can give me $25,000. But we all know you got the money, so give me the money, right? And that went viral on YouTube.
Big time kid.
So maybe that's where
Match point. Red team.
Did they actually pretend that wasn't hyperbole? Yes. And it was so funny. On the Reddit thread, some of the top comments was, he sounds like he's doing a preacher character.
Yeah. I know we have that.
Play again?
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like one of those preachers that beg for money. Of course I did. That was the bit.
yes, boys, of course, I check livestream fields, and there are hundreds of comments, and only 2 of them mention the word preacher, both of which say Boogie is just a lying thief, like a modern-day preacher, and only both of them have 2 or 3 updates.
Choose your character.
So, yeah, bullshit there, Boogie. He also finishes the story by saying, this is fucking outstanding, boys, so fucking buckle up here, that he only didn't get the Tesla because he was upset about being called a beggar, even though he had a business plan to get it to look like a DeLorean, and how he was going to take it around to all these car shows as a famous YouTuber, so people would be interested in what his fucking car was. Yes, I'm being fucking serious. And this is going to get him to meet Elon Musk. Yes, I am also still being fucking serious. So for all those other times where he said, I was
choose your character.
All that shit? Nah.
Jesus.
Apparently he had all these business plans that was going to make it like a profitable business for him. He just didn't do it because evil Reddit called him a beggar. Fuck me sideways, boys. He also then ends the stream by making up a story that one of his close friends became obsessed with QAnon, and how all QAnon fans are the same. They're all like middle-aged.
Prepare yourself!
Black women, and they just blame them for trying to avoid accepting any blame for themselves being an idiot. So, he even goes so far to say this friend of his smells really bad and is awful at everything and sexually harasses women and is an awful person. So like it's like the straw man he makes is so bad. So is this what he pictures me as when he said I was a QAnon conspiracy nut? Because I'm going to make a point. I am none of those fucking things, my dude. Like, Jesus Christ, Boogie. Oh yeah, also, sorry, he mentioned Francis is a clear narcissist as well to end the stream, and how Francis is also definitely not him. Do you remember earlier when I said the stream we didn't have to wait a full month for him to retcon him being Francis again? There you fucking go, my dudes.
Choose your character.
I'm pretty sure I can get this.
Let's get sloppy. It's weird to me that the longer I hang around with lol guys, the more Northern Irish people I seem to encounter. Like, there's not even like 2 million of us. For some reason, I keep bumping into Northern Irish dudes in the lol community. Like, be it Kevil's visiting Northern Ireland, pretending to get swatted, to this guy interviewing kid behind the camera about Boogie, or to like some random dude who's like a major part of Windsor Redemption's online gaming team now. I don't know, it's just really weird. The podcast, it does directly mention Boogie in the title, so I thought I might as well give it a listen. The Boogie section was only 1 minute long and it's totally worthless, mainly with Michael outlining that him and Boogie really routinely text each other, pitch comedy ideas, and ask each other how they're doing.
Prepare yourself!
Sitting much to gain from this kid behind the camera during the interview is still trying to pretend that his terrible YouTube videos and his awful prank videos are all like 100% legit, and you should believe that they happen for real and everything like that. So I just thought I should mention it. The Northern Irish dude is the RGB Gaming Podcast, so give him a wee bit of a shout out. I'll stick a link in the description because, you know, I gotta support the home boys like this. Activity is one to be honest with using the stream as well as the 2 videos by King Farms from the company. And Jesse's skit that is only interesting because he keeps getting his spells from their stream, like I said. Another fucking Francis video, and a few videos about therapy, and another exploiting to death. We open up our YouTube activity with the first it's a standard unboxing affair, you know, when he's opening a loot box, there's evil loot boxes, like should be gambling, should be banned because of evil gambling. There's lots of, oh, I got a card, oh, I didn't get a card, oh, if someone donates, I'll open another pack, you know, that kind of shit. It's incredibly fucking dull. He did keep the manipulation tactics for years, though, telling them that he, you know, I'm a Twitch streamer, baby guy, but if you buy more memberships, that might convince me to keep streaming on YouTube. Like, when he says, if you get me like 50 memberships, you will start weekly membership on the streams. So I'm assuming he never got that since he didn't do that. Or he did get it, he just decided not to do it because that would be the most Boogie thing for all to do. Boogie isn't our system. Like, he'll constantly mention the viewership figures on his live streams or how many views he's getting on his YouTube videos and all. So there's no way, in my opinion, he will do a live stream where he's streaming less than 50 people at a time, because it's the same reason why, like, Chantel Boogie won't do it. Why she would go like, I'll make a membership only stream, ha ha ha, fuck you guys, the evil trolls can't watch them. But then she never does it because she knows she'll be streaming to like 100 people, and it hurts her ego, so she can't float. I've got 1,000 people watching. So there's no way she's
Red team.
The only really interesting thing about this is that firstly, he hasn't streamed in so long that he actually just started to stream worse than I did the other night, which is my 3rd ever live stream, by accidentally creating a 17-second long video and then taking literally like 3-4 hours to set up the next one. The second interesting thing, though, is at the end, he suddenly says he doesn't believe he actually has autism, despite it being talked about a lot in therapy, which is weird since every other button 100% agrees that he is now autistic and use it as an excuse. One of the reasons he thinks he might have autism, though, is because he likes Magic the Gathering, and he says it's a social game that convinces him to be social in real life. And he doesn't like online games like League of Legends because everyone on there is terrible and everyone in real life is nicer, and how he doesn't want to deal with anyone from League of Legends because they're all evil, rich people who are mean to him if he makes a mistake. Like, if you have a memory, this doesn't make any fucking sense because literally last month, he's
whatever, dude. Fuck yeah, man.
At an event, and it triggered PTSD, and it was so stressful because everyone there was being aggressive and violent, and there were fist fights, and people were punching judges in the face and stuff like that.
Rematch? Okay!
Also, as previously said, like 10 years ago, that around 2010-ish, he was so racist and toxic playing League of Legends, he literally got banned. How the fuck
Choose your character!
In 2010, when League of Legends was toxicity by being too fucking toxic for League of Legends. Like, how the fuck? Next up are the two videos about Kiwi Farms, which were covered along with the tweets on one of my live streams, which is linked below. Long story short, because that's 3.5 hours long, Boogie does loads of stuff, actively says he supports hacking websites, illegal government seizing private property, and citizens losing access to legal
Prepare yourself!
Website he doesn't like. He also retroactively changes history of Kiwi Farms, literally caused his divorce, and also takes suicide walk of shame. I'm sorry.
The walk of shame doesn't apply to men. Like, there's no man.
There's no man in our game ever. No man can wear your shoes like that either. They're not hiding from the freaking shoes we put on.
This is straight up like we're gonna take.
Walking out like this.
Yeah.
Getting high five the whole time home.
Did it, bro?
Part of the problem, Drinker, is that, and you mentioned it before, it's the writer's perspective. So these are men, they're Hollywood men, specifically that this is the world of Hollywood, the bubble of Hollywood. Their experience does not go outside of this bubble. They're not from Hollywood. When you're there for about 10 years, 5 years, struggling, that's all you know. That's your entire life experience. It's drinking, texting, and gossiping. And that's all this show is. You know, I said the show, it's made for wine moms, but it's by, like, women. I mean, like, they're children. Not with this attitude towards men. Like, I don't know, like, men have been horrible in Hollywood, so have women. I mean, Olivia Wilde just proved that women can be just as horrible as men as a director of a movie, with all of the drama there. So that's what we're dealing with, no life experience, and more importantly, everybody's missing on Twitter right now, all the bots, so and then all the, well, quite frankly, autism that's there, that's missing the point of why we're upset at this show is you can do stuff tongue-in-cheek once in a while, but if you go back and read the She-Hulk comic, you actually read the She-Hulk, there's still a seriousness. Even though it's breaking the fourth wall, it's not jokey all. That was part of the problem. Byrne had them in the beginning, and he had fights, he always had fights with his editor. But it was taken, like, even Slot, Slot, what do you think about right?
Match point! Blue team!
So, there's a seriousness to it. Like, you take this serious, and I have it in my video, and I'm sure you guys have run with it too. The creator of this show came out and said, I didn't like superhero comics, they were just too serious, the drama was just too much for me. So, she read indie books, which could have been, I don't know, Love and Rockets, or nothing. I mean, she could have been just lying, I'm not really sure. But they automatically didn't respect the source material. And so they took a really popular character amongst comic fans, real comic fans, and turned her into a Disney Marvel character, unfortunately.
I think I
Continue?
all of this.
Let's
Like,
go!
The humor really landed. Like, you could almost just go down the airplane road or the hot shots road where it's just absolute
Choose
nonsense
your
and
character.
complete satire, and it, like, there's almost like no continuity with previous.
Do what you gotta do.
Whatever. It's just there to have fun. The jokes are absolute bangers that really get you laughing. But none of that happens. Like, that's the fundamental problem. It's a comedy that's not funny. Like, that's... Because this is like the rebuttal that you get from a lot of the people who support it. It's like, well, it doesn't have to make sense. ever has. Like, and I don't think it does with anyone. I don't know who would find this funny. Like, the jokes don't land. There aren't.
Prepare yourself.
It's just really bland. Really, like, it comes across almost as bitter a lot of the time, like observational humor. Yeah. It's
It seasons between being very bitter to being toxically positive, where the way that they try to build each other up. The female characters are constantly calling each other, "You're so fabulous, you're so amazing." It just feels very fake.
That's how a lot of creatives talk to each other in Hollywood. That is very normal vernacular there.
Yeah.
You're always saying, like, when they're in front of you, you're just the most amazing person, and then they completely forget about you as soon as you're out of line of sight.
When I was writing that Hawaii Phase 4 for Marvel's really sucked, I watched the entire red carpet for the Eternals, just because I think that was the most
saving lives. It's saving lives.
But it was, I felt sick at how much people were just overly complimenting each other. That's the Hollywood life, that you're constantly sucking up to each other because that's the bubble you live in.
They're there.
You just
They all think that they are saving the world.
They do. The narcissism on display is good. Like, I have nothing to do with terrified at the same time. Like, these people who have such a high opinion of themselves. You know, it's like you're making life trash. You ain't saving anything, my friend.
Just your own egos, that's all.
Yeah, and, you know, it's, I mean, I guess I should talk a little bit about this episode. It's so funny because, like, it shows this, it's a cult people can defend that. Like, oh, you're mad that Daredevil doesn't do Robot, and I the opposite. Like, I'm happy to be here because the less, the fewer characters that are normal that you bring in, they're actually like cult. Yeah, whatever. So, I guess I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
Match point.
Okay.
Red team.
We show the tiniest bit of credit, right? This episode is terrible now.
Whatever. Fuck that. I'm glad this match is over.
And his great performance. If there's some kind of award that you can give for being a good sport, then this guy deserves it. And instead of Female Warrior of the Year. And I think maybe there was
Choose your character.
a little bit of oversight from Marvel. I don't know if they were like, look, this character actually matters, and so we're not going to let you fuck him up, like with your amateur writing. We're going to put a little bit of extra.
Travel the infinite and switch places with each other like Democrats.
So I will give them a little bit of credit for that. Like, he wasn't completely humiliated like I expected.
I go surprising enough. I'll give him a little bit of credit for the fact that the plot finally allowed horrible actions to have consequences. Right at the end, I was like, oh my god, finally!
Yeah.
That was surprising. I wasn't sure that they were going to do that at all.
Because when she started tearing apart the TVs, I was like, okay, yeah, it sucks that, like,
Prepare
sex
yourself.
that's just dangerous. And then she, oh yeah, see, I was mixing up the scenes. In my head, I was about to say, did she, like, pick up a car and throw it at someone? I was like, oh no, that's when she was doing a superheroing.
And that was considered to be okay, I guess. That was just a little
Even
joke.
Daredevil makes a joke about how, like, property damage. It's like, dude.
My favorite line was at the bar when Matt Murdock said, well, the way I see it...
just setting a good example for your friends.
that was so funny.
Taking it to the
It was funny though, right? You see at the bar, doing a bit of comedy, and you can tell the actors are quite good, and like actually a okay bit of chemistry between them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Tatiana Maslany is a terrible actress. She's a little bit of awful material, but like when she's given a guy like him to play off of,
I hate it now. It's somebody responded to me on Twitter. I don't know if they were. They quote tweeted my how it started, how it ended. It's sad. They're saying I'm sad or that's sad. I don't know. But I just went, yeah, it's sad. It's sad that Daredevil wasn't the best thing.
Match point. Blue team.
Way to go. Tie that little knot there. And ruin him.
I think it's... Yeah. It was never going to work.
Run that thing.
The thinking makes the better story. Well, he's a lawyer, so she's a lawyer, so he should be in the show.
And they should hook up.
Yeah, exactly. But
Victory!
It really shows, I think that this was intentional, just how absolutely shit of a lawyer she is. Like, she doesn't do any prep work for her trial. So, like,
Rematch?
basic facts that she should absolutely have known from her client. And it just made me think, wow, like, you're female lawyer of the year in this universe. Like, it seems like that must be a really low benchmark because
It is Drinker. All the women got it.
yeah. But it's like you're terrible at your job. Like, he absolutely wiped the floor with you with very little effort.
And she won Lawyer of the Year. She got an award.
Choose your character.
For not doing any lawyering.
Playing hampered with the
Are you trying to test me, ma'am?
using it and trying to blame the manufacturer. It's just like this is basic. You have to get that sorted ahead of time. But he smells it in the court case, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then the judge is like, "There you go, done." It's like that's not how cases work, man.
The lawyer might be thorough. You know,
she would have gone.
Yeah.
She would have gone to the manufacturer and said, "Okay, like, tell me about this. And is there a way that this could have gone wrong? Can you explain how this could have malfunctioned?" She would have gone to the guy who used it and said, "What did you do with it? Explain exactly how you used it." And it would have taken her about 5 minutes to put together the fact that he fucked up and he put the wrong fuel in it and it didn't work and that's why he got injured. But it's like, no, didn't think to do that because the writers don't understand courtroom stuff and they don't care.
When I went to my defense attorney, I said, "I'm not guilty." And he just said, "Okay." And that's how he went to court. He didn't check me out or anything. He didn't vet anything. He just believed me.
Yeah, believe all men.
The case they presented was like, well, he seems nice, you know.
Prepare yourself.
On face today.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, they really don't do a good job. I mean, they portray her as her career being so important, right? Important enough that she shouldn't be a superhero, she shouldn't be an Avenger or anything. Her career is so important, but they're not actually building her up as very competent.
That's it. I could get if, like, she was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's based on something to be amazing at something in their field. You have to sacrifice their personal lives. You're demonstrating the exact opposite with this character. She's really doing shit at her job, and yet she keeps getting accolades and opportunities. It doesn't make little sense. And it's just a question from the writer.
Because the nature of this legal thing that happens in this episode is going to be washed away in like 5 minutes. Go back to everything. Because, yeah, a lot of people say that this is a sitcom defendant. Interesting. The sitcoms are always shit.
We got a Mephisto thing too, Waller. Remember the Red Hulk? Everybody's like, it's gonna be the Red Hulk at the end. Well, she jokes about it in this episode. She's like, is this the penultimate episode that's gonna lead up to a Red Hulk, showing that it's not gonna be a Red Hulk, it's just gonna be a big nothing. Like all of these series have been. Oh, you didn't watch it. Did you guys see the finale of Hawkeye? Anybody? You didn't, Greg? I'm sorry. So you saw what happened to Kingpin.
Match point.
Kingpin.
Blue team.
Kingpin, they took the greatest villain.
Victory!
The guy with the car door.
Hell yeah.
Some athletic girl. With exploding arrows, you know.
You didn't even hear the car coming. Her mom.
Continue.
He gets run over by a soccer mom. Yeah.
You know, Hawkeye was still okay. The one I really struggled to watch was Loki. I actually kept falling asleep over and over. Honestly, it was like I was hit by a tranquilizer dart. I could not keep my eyes open.
I mean, all that positive affirmation didn't keep you awake.
Choose your character.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
I think it almost comes down to like how far the character can evolve. And with
Let's go,
like
in and out.
Loki, like damn, he had been a great character when he was in his prime. You know, in the first Avengers movie, like he was terrifying in what he could do. He actually had a plan. He was smart.
Yeah.
He was devious. You know, he went through a real character arc in things like Thor Ragnarok, and then I love so much.
Yeah.
Died as a good man, and then this Loki was an idiot.
The way he was even written, his introduction in Avengers, where the lighting, everything is so pale. He does look like an alien. And he's here with great purpose. And it was so beautifully introduced, where you do feel like he's a dangerous being.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get the feeling in Avengers, like he had been brought back from death, from hell, like, you know, because last time we saw him was in Thor, falling to his death, and yeah, he looked like he
Dark
was
circles.
resurrected. Yeah, it was really cool.
It's the most evil he's looked when you first see him in Avengers.
Yeah, with that smile on his face, like that.
Oh, it's great. It really evokes Loki. It doesn't evoke dumbass.
I think
it's that combination of like great intellect, incredible power of strength, all of those things that make him a brilliant antagonist.
Yeah, I think Joss Whedon really understood the psychology of all those characters. I think, you know, of all the Marvel movies, I think Avengers 2 is probably my favorite, even though a lot of people don't like that one. But I like how he's really do a great deep dive into what was motivating each
We're going through some more. Oh
I
man.
think with that, like it's yeah, you got a real insight to Tony, particularly like his desire to protect things and like the pursuit of that to every extent. The real weak point of that movie was Ultron himself. It was just a really light antagonist. And I get the impression that he could have been so much more sinister and dangerous and everything like
The decision to make him anti-Tony was weird. It was really, really weird.
The trailer portrayed him as so much darker. That trailer is one of the best trailers.
The trailer was amazing. That
Yes.
was just a great example of like, oh, you set up something that absolutely didn't come to pass. But yeah, expected. So good.
A darker version.
Oh man, having a robot press down the Avengers as well, because they're like they're high numbers at that point. Things are going well.
Yeah, and they're so confident.
Yeah, you're doing this for yourselves. Like, and all this other stuff, you know, it's just like, oh, this will be fun. And then he's like, remember when he chops off Paul's arm? He's like, ooh. And then that probably hurts. You're just like,
Yeah.
I will stand by that movie until the day I die.
that's one of those.
That's the good thing. We got the whole puzzle.
So we got movie studio budget for there's going to be a little kind of
Oh, yeah, that's what Christoph Whedon.
well, it made Whedon refuse Infinity War Endgame. Like, that's what you'd have to do to make it not take those opportunities.
Yeah, they've introduced a lot, right?
What they did with him and Ultron, he did not enjoy the production of Ultron.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there's a studio director here who's like, yeah, I don't think he doesn't consider it, but like,
Because they were making him interject a lot of different threads that they wanted to open up, right? That was the main issue.
We had Vision, you had Wanda, like a lot of new
Ragnarok.
interests. Yeah.
Setting up Ragnarok, yeah.
which is funny because his set of a Ragnarok was a much more serious thing in that movie because that's what it was going to be. And then they were like, fuck it.
Like, boy, bring me the biggest fucking clown you can find. Yeah. Like, that'll be me then.
The best is when he asked Natalie Portman if she wants to be in a Star Wars movie. Living.
New Zealand, apparently.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. That's the thing.
Yeah, Ragnarok, the way Ragnarok was set up in
Match
Ultron
point.
was
Red
really
team.
cool. Like saying to, you know, when he looks at Thor, I forget the name of Idris Elba's character, but when he looks at Thor and he found out, and he says, "Can you see? You're the bringer of destruction and death." And it was such a great setup. I wish they had led more from that. Even though, I mean, Ragnarok is a good movie in the sense it was funny and all these other things, but
it's a weird one because it was a short-term victory, but a long-term problem that it created. You know, creating a monster basically, where it's like it lifted the Thor movies out of the doldrums that they'd been in with the Dark World, which was just so fucking boring and forgettable. Like I can't even remember the antagonist's name or anything. Malekith, that's it.
What a waste,
I just remember Christopher Eccleston played him under lots of latex.
That's crazy that was Christopher Eccleston.
But they picked such a great guy. People were so excited. It's like, oh, the first Doctor.
Yeah,
it was such a waste.
So you know, it did. Really? I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did something with Thor that hadn't been done before, and it at least found a way to make the character enjoyable because his own movies had been boring up until that point. But then, yeah, they created a monster where Taika just was given full creative control, and he was allowed to write the thing from Love and Thunder, and that was just the worst move they could have made.
Oh. I'm surprised Christian Bale hasn't come out and had a bit of a meltdown about it because I love Christian Bale. His acting is always really good, and it seemed like he was the only one really trying on that set.
I don't know how he would have worked on a set like that.
He's put out the comments recently, right, about the green screen.
Did he?
He said something like it's the most monotonous type of acting ever, and that he didn't even know what was happening. I think the quote was something like, they tell him to go to screen B or something, the other guy, they all look the same. Screen. It's like, oh man.
No,
I feel like... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. What they'll do is they'll repurpose battle scenes, so they'll keep a shot that he did that was to something else going on the screen and replace it with something completely different. That's been happening a lot with Marvel, right? So the rumors of Kevin Feige being spread like way true. He spread himself thin, and they are absolutely true. They are 1,000% true. It's chaos right now. That's why you have announcements like Deadpool 3 that trumped everything they've announced in the last 2 years. I can't think of anything. It's like more that than the Avengers films.
Yeah, this is like 2 Avengers films.
Yeah.
And it's basically like bringing back 50-odd-year-old Hugh Jackman from particularly successful series of X-Men movies. It's like that's more exciting for people than basically anything Marvel announced. I just feel like entirely because what they're feeling right now from this stuff is not cutting anymore. And it's like, remember the old stuff? You like that? And you're like, okay, alright, yeah, I like Logan. I like Logan, so how long do you think it's going to be before they bring back that is the sign of the death knell, right? Like, when they come full circle, when he comes back, and then you know they're death. It's going to be, it's like Dark Fate, trying to play
Chris Evans and Doug Devonshire will be in Secret Wars. Take the bank. They'll be
I think that's fair. Yep. But the thing is, it'll be in the way of like, well, you didn't let him off coming back. It's the characters. And that's what I think is now. When they all make these definitive, I will never play this character. I don't count. That's kind of the reason why everyone hates Multiversus. It doesn't count. None of it counts.
Nothing counts. Yeah.
That's why we can show you Reed Richards and kill him. It's like, okay, yeah.
Because comics, they suck in the comics, and they're going to suck in the movies.
This is why I say
Match point. Blue team.
When you do this,
Victory!
Anything can happen. Anyone can get killed and resurrected at any point. Why would you care now? Because there's no repercussions. There's no long-term impact to anything.
Continue.
You can just do whatever you want with the multiverse. Kind of hard to get invested in what's going on at that point. You know.
It's sad that the MCU is at a point where somebody said reboot in there, and you're probably right. That's what they're headed towards, and they never needed to reboot. They could just recast characters, and they've got
a half a century minimum of comics they can adapt of each character. You can do that till the end of time. With events that you think like the Infinity Gauntlet's the biggest event. No, there's actually events they've done that are bigger that they could pull off. That would be cool as hell, but not now. Not with these people. I'm talking about a different timeline in our multiverse.
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
10 years ago or 20 years from now that they could adapt. That would be great. Thor, they could if they took them if they play the character straight like they're supposed to. They could have done it forever, and it would have been really entertaining, and people would have loved it. But you know why people would have loved it? Because a lot of people love those comics for decades. They sold in the hundreds of thousands to the millions for decades. So these idiots think they can come in and rewrite all these stories with of writer's experience, and they think they can do it better. And they laugh at it. And that's the part that Jessica Gao, that's what irritates me about Jessica Gao. She just clowns nerds. This whole She-Hulk thing is clowning nerds. I've got people I swear to calling me a fucking incel, which is hilarious. But that's fine. That's the kind of fan you wanted. This is the kind of fan you wanted, Marvel. You have it. That is a Disney Marvel fan. You could pick them out in a lineup easily. And they're the ones seal clapping. That's the one. That's your fandom now. Have fun with it.
Yeah, according to this fandom, all you boys are incels, and I'm a pick-me girl, and that's it.
Yep.
Nothing else to it.
You can't have any legitimate criticism of anything. Speaking of which, actually, Jamila decided to learn. I'll do this just before I move away from She-Hulk, because like we've all said a bit and our bit about it. But she decided that she was going to engage with the fans the other day on Twitter, and basically it didn't go very well. So she did her initial find out, see if I can share it actually, because I've got the article here from Founding Into Comics, because they do really good presentations and stuff. So there we go.
What do you think about that?
I don't know if you can see it. There you go. So, he started off by saying, waiting for the final episode of She-Hulk, like McDonald's fries for some reason. Okay, so anyway, someone said, sir, all that build up to 20-minute episodes for nothing to happen, you won't be seeing a season 2. So she didn't take too well to that, and I love her response here, where she basically says, I don't care, I got to do what I want, and that's all that matters, and I got paid. And I just thought, what a great attitude to have. But Jeremy, unfortunately, was able to leap in and say She-Hulk actress doesn't care, she gets paid.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that? Okay, thank you.
Don't make it weird.
I'll get something later. Okay, thank you.
Match point. Red team. Defeat.
I'm so tired of this shit.
You should have really worked on your aim, bro.
Rematch. Choose your character.
Successful because she already got paid. Amazing.
We Ricks travel the infinite.
If a month,
Yes.
full moon kind of thing, like the most
But except for
particular thing.
The Nielsen ratings, it didn't even debut in the top 10, right? It had half a week, and it didn't get enough minutes to debut in the top 10, and when it finally debuted in the top 10 in the next round, it was like number 6, behind Hot D and some other stuff. I think even behind Game of Thrones in one metric. Game of Thrones.
Damn.
Oh,
And
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I will say, I'll give her a slight bit of credit though, because she says, because Jeremy had replied to her and says, if the show is a success, as you say, there will be a season 2, and none of these so-called haters are going to matter. Which begs the question: why do you continue to focus on negativity when you claim there is so much positivity around it? And she replies to say, because why only live in a bubble of congratulations? I engage plenty with people who love the show. So I think she's almost trying to like reach out in that sense of like, well, I'm willing to listen to criticism, but like her attitude then is like, well, I'm only willing to listen to it if you engage with me in the particular way that I want you to, and you have to be like super polite and respectful in order to do it.
Which is fine. I mean, but she's not taking that step further. That okay, if you don't want to be in this like congratulatory bubble, you also have to see that there is something called legitimate criticism.
I think so, yeah. And it's like, look, Jamila, if you're watching this, you're more than welcome to come on, and we can discuss with you in a polite, respectful way the issues with She-Hulk. I think we can probably give you a good breakdown of like where the show could be better. I think. Yeah.
Agreed. I think a lot of people, some people in Hollywood who may be internet savvy, are sensing the pendulum swinging, and people who would not be open to any kind of criticism before and were willing to come out and call us racist, sexist, and everything. We're still being called by, I don't know, Amazon right now. That are some that are like, maybe we should listen to him because it feels like the tide is turning. I think, is that the case? I don't know. I've seen that in other areas, like Bill Maher, for instance, trying to get out ahead of the shift that is definitely going on. It's like undoubtable. Undeniable, sorry. It is happening. And, does it go too far? I don't know. But things are changing culturally. And, a Marvel project is getting just a rash. Like, Rotten Tomatoes is still like 35%. And there's review bombing on both sides. That's a BS argument. But it's like, it's ratings everywhere else. It's not too. So.
It's uncanny to see so many fans of Hollywood be like ripping into the older shows when they came out and so positive about them and just being like, this is the best we've had. I remember some people being like, I don't know, I think it's better than Daredevil. It's like, well, I think they're about the same. Daredevil, WandaVision, WandaVision is just like, oh, yes, you're doing it. Like these days, people are like, WandaVision, how many episodes were even in there? They're just like, they're yeah. Loki, nobody can tell Loki anymore.
WandaVision was I like WandaVision. I know a lot of people didn't like it. There were parts that I really hated, but there were parts I liked. But then you have Multiversus Madness, and it just I don't know, it was really bad taste then for anything to do with Wanda.
I think the first probably 3 or 4 episodes, I can't remember. Like once you start to get a glimpse outside of the town, that's when it starts to fall apart. Like
yeah, you can find back then.
Yeah,
we were positive about it. I liked the first few episodes. It was inventive, it was different. They kind of got the style and the mannerisms and everything just down to a T. And I thought, cool, they're doing something nice and different here.
Match point.
Yeah.
Blue team.
I thought they were going like full on Twilight Zone with it. If you ever seen Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone, I thought that's like the approach they were going to take. I was so naive.
Me too. I thought they were going to take it totally differently. Yeah.
That would have been cool. Like,
yeah, it would have been cool.
Really out there. That would have been nice. We're not like that. It has to. It's like they try so hard just to break out of that Marvel mold, but it always like grabs them and puts them back and just squishes them down into like the same exact cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Like,
match point. Red team.
That'll teach you to try and have ideas.
All those diverse sidekicks, and then the evil white man, and it was just they took something so unique and then just completely broke it apart.
Yep.
I mean, I've said this before, like when it relates to Rings of Power and everything.
No.
Same exact story.
Defeat.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
fucking kidding me, dude.
predict whether a character will be good or evil, basically based on their demographic group. At this point, like if they're trying to build up some like hidden
I'm just gonna go with
enemy or some hidden.
If they're gonna keep choosing Rick and
white
Morty.
guy, I can guarantee it because like that's the only demographic that's safe to turn into a villain at this point. So it makes it quite hard for them to hide who the guy's meant to be when I know what their rules are, what they have to operate under.
And we need to get past that, man, because that is, I mean, I didn't come up with the saying, but it's an old saying. It's the bigotry of low expectations. It is a form of bigotry in writing. So, like, you're not going to give any other character complexity a chance to win a war. I mean, like, you're basically coddling people like children based on their skin color. That is the very definition of bigotry. So, yeah, hopefully we can get past this and, like, everybody can be a bad guy. Anybody can be a good guy. You know, gay people can die and stuff. They can die and stuff. Believe it or not.
Or they can be bad.
Or they can be bad.
Or they don't have to just be vapid and talking about your outfit and be there to pump you up. Like, that's how it is in She-Hulk.
I think that's it,
Yeah. Little stereotype.
Yeah, for a show that wants to try so hard to break stereotypes and you know, portray women as like more, you know, rounded, fleshed out characters, like they're doing a really terrible job of it. Because like the characters in this are the most superficial, bland, like narcissistic morons that you could ever picture. And it's funny because they think they're doing a great thing, but they're doing the exact opposite.
And you know, I'll get a lot of private messages of people who are brown and black, and or you know, specifically women who are brown and black, and they'll be very angry with me and say, why are you doing this? Why are you talking against female creators, female characters, or even just, you know, females out in the world? And it's because I refuse to accept that the best that women can be are vapid narcissists. And that's what they're selling to us. That's what they're trying to turn us into, is that you're not allowed to be criticized at all, because if you are, that means, you know, someone's trying to keep you down. That's the only reason. And if you look at the world that way, you're actually going to have a very terrible, unhappy life. You're going to live a terrible life. You won't have a good partnership with anybody, not with your family, not with your children. You won't have a good partnership with someone you will walk through life with. You will just really struggle.
And it's obvious that so many are right now. That's the sad thing, honestly. But yeah, it's what it's always been, especially with just the mental illness on social media, is the problems in the mirror. That there is problems that you have to deal with internally. I'm glad I didn't have social media when I was young.
I know. Yeah. We're all lucky in that. I think about our kids. You know, they're going to grow up with it right off the bat. My little niece, she's a year and a half, and she knows how to forward. She knows how to skip ads. It's so to her, the technology is so intuitive.
Yeah, but it's the way you put it. Like it saturates your thoughts at a certain point. Like you let it absorb you. Where you think, any event you take part in, anything you're doing, it's like, wow, I've got to post this to social media because I get loads of likes and retweets and stuff, and it's like, it's so important. Like, you can't just experience anything just in the moment, it all has to be shared. You know, then you have to give your thoughts about everything, and this one didn't land very well, and I get pushed back, and now I have to argue with like 500 different people. It can absolutely suck people in, and before you know it, you're spending your whole life doing it.
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen is really good about that, where she doesn't really use social media a lot, but she actually identifies that once you're a celebrity and then you're on social media, you start to think as if you're this very important person that people are waiting for you to say something. So if someone passes away or something, you know, school shooting happens, God forbid, then people are just waiting on tenterhooks for you to comment on it. And she said that injection into your thought process really starts to mess with you and makes you think of yourself differently and look at yourself through this filter. She just doesn't do it. She just doesn't engage with social media. Instead, she posts if she does post that thing, she posts unflattering photos of herself that paparazzi caught, which I think is so great. It just shows that she doesn't look at herself as this perfect thing that she needs to put out.
I think people need more of that.
Yep.
They really do. Like actors in particular. Like I don't know when we reached this point where actors suddenly decided that they had to one, be political activists, and two, be like pundits, and two, give like their opinions on like geopolitical and economic issues that they're totally not qualified to discuss. But they're receiving awards for acting.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
Talk about the
That's why it's
clients, like,
impossible to beat, because they're all
it's
bots.
the Film Actors
They're all
Guild.
actual people.
America, like that's all it is. They called it like 20 years ago, like when they made that.
A lot of things. It's almost a perfect movie.
Choose your character.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you're right.
guys.
There's bad gay people. There is dumb. Okay, you're right, Chad.
There is, yeah, but they've had to take away some of the tags from that apparently because it portrays gay people in a bad light, and it's like, well, he was a gay serial killer, like, but that wasn't the reason he was a serial killer. It's just like that's an aspect of his character, and he used that to prey on victims. You can't hide it, and if you do, what's the point in like telling the story in that case? Because it's a really good show. Like the performances are great, the writing's great. From what I understand, it's like dead accurate to what actually happens. So like it's an interesting watch. You can't shy away from what it actually is and what he was as a person.
Sorry, slight segue. Did you all see the
Prepare
documentary they made on
yourself.
Netflix about the murder on the submarine that happened? I think in Denmark. Did you know about this?
No, I think I saw it advertised. I didn't watch it though.
Okay, you should check that out. All of you, I think you'll find it really interesting. I saw it a few days ago, and it's been playing on my. It's one of those experiences of a psychopath that you just go, you know, do we understand psychopaths at all? It was very interesting. I won't give anything away,
Cool.
except that there is a murder.
Ah,
Wow, you told the whole thing.
no, we don't understand psychopaths at all. And I don't think we
encounter them every day on Twitter, so
we really do.
we should understand them by now, I think.
Maybe there's one amongst us that we don't even know.
They're getting weird.
Mahler.
Well, one of us never shows his face. How do you know that's Gary's real face? In a minute more, you got corpses strung up behind you.
Oh my god, what? Why would that matter? I wanted to find the really old middle-aged recovering alcoholic app, whatever the fuck the kids call it. That's what I have. Well, just read that. It's alright. It's a skin mask. Yeah, somebody else's skin though. Hello, everybody.
There we go.
Yeah. But, well, I think we all agree, like, serial killers, they are evil, but, you know, it's even more evil.
Disney Marvel?
No, it's people who criticize the rings of power.
Oh, of course.
As I've discovered, this show allow me to share.
There's a place in hell for those people.
According to the showrunners for Rings of Power, these absolute intellectual colossi right here, Danny Payne and Patrick McKay, the Rings of Power showrunner accuses show's critics of being patently evil, sir. So basically, if you don't like this, you're a bad person. And I think we can all get behind that, can't we? Because, you know, we all love it.
Obviously.
I might be patently evil.
I mean, you kind of hit your... Yeah, it's part of the brand. So you're like, yeah. It's cringe. I'm like, this is for one.
We're trying to unlock Gizmo.
Nail bounding into comics, but the Hollywood Reporter article is like a half-hour read, multiple paragraphs of them trying to hope. It is damage control. It is pure damage control.
Okay, it's funny. That was the one I selected initially, and then I saw the length of it, and I thought, nah, I need something shorter.
Bounding does a great job of getting the quotes. I don't know if they put in the quote the best one, which is towards the end, which is absolutely the best one. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Mahler? Have you read it?
I haven't read it. No, I wouldn't have quotes.
The part where they say Amazon is shitting their pants.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Wait, let's see if
it's in there. If it's not in there, then I'll take you over to it and get to the quotes. It's absolutely the best quotes in the whole article.
No, the quotes here that they've given us is like, for example, when Amazon released photos of its multicultural cast, even when the character names or plot details, the studio endured a reflexive attack from trolls, the anonymous online kind, which is, you know, basically anyone on the internet, really. But I think a lot of that was, hey, you've put different ethnicities into places and cultures that they absolutely don't make sense to me yet, and you've not explained why they're there. But hey, I guess it's okay because this show has to reflect the world we live in today.
Yeah, the whole reason Tolkien wrote the series was to be the mythological ancient story of their people, of the British people.
He did, and he gave very specific descriptions of the different races, what they look like, and so on. And, rightly or wrongly, you might feel that that's not representative of our modern culture, but it wasn't meant to be. It was representative of a fantasy culture that he came up with himself. And as other people have argued pretty effectively, you go ahead and change that now without any explanation and get it to try and fit in with the multicultural society we live in, which is all perfectly fine nowadays. But if you try and alter something like this without any explanation or justification, it's shit. It just becomes pandering. It becomes something that was done for political rather than artistic reasons, and that's what people are pushing back against. Yep. So you get these projection kind of quotes here saying, obviously there was going to be push and backlash, but the question is, who are these people that feel so threatened or disgusted by the idea that the elf is black, Latino, or Asian? And this is the thing that pisses me off, right? No one's threatened by it, and no one's disgusted by it. They're annoyed by the fact that you're altering the story and you're altering the world that you're working within to suit your own purposes. You're doing it to reflect our world, but it's not the world that this is supposed to be happening in. That's the problem. That's what people are pushing back against.
Absolutely, and they're pushing it back against this because they lied. They came out and said that Tolkien estate is involved in this, and we're just going to show this and split the Tolkien. And then, we're 6 episodes in, and that is just a bold-faced lie. They're not even using the lore. The lore is a slight backdrop. We'll use a name here and there. Then we'll give you an origin to Mordor, which is just the most bad reboot thing I can possibly think of. I mean, these are the people that remade A New Hope with The Force Awakens. They redid Wrath of Khan with Into Darkness. So let's just did you see in the article it says they throw shade at HBO? I got a video coming out tomorrow. Spoiler. They throw shade at HBO by saying, well, HBO came to them first and just wanted to remake Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But the estate balked at that. So what they accepted was a remake of Lord of the Rings in the Second Age. Because that's what this is. You got people, Bam, Sam, Frodo. You got to stand in for the ring. You got freaking the origin of Mordor. It's fucking stupid. Sorry, but that was the dumbest episode. The last episode was so freaking
well. You know what? I've learned so much about how volcanoes erupt. I've discovered that if you pour water onto lava, it doesn't cool it down. It actually makes it explode. Yes.
I'll be right back.
What is the range really heavily in Mordor? Is that it? Here's a good quote here saying, what are they protecting? I don't see how people who are saying that these things think that they're fighting for good. There's a line in episode 7 where Galadriel says, every war is fought from without and within. That's a stupid line to say. There's a lot of stupid lines in this show. Even if you're fighting for something you think is good, if you do something worse in that fight, then you become evil. I don't see how people who are saying these things think that they're fighting for good. It's patently evil. Now, Sir Patrick McKay or J.D. Payne, I can't remember which one of you said it, but either one of you can shove this quote right up your arse. This is bullshit. You don't get to decide what is evil in this context, okay? You don't get to project motivations onto the people that are criticizing your show. They are doing it for valid reasons because you are taking the work of someone else who is your intellectual and creative superior and who you will never ever possibly equal, and you are fucking it up for no other reason than because you bought the right to do it. You didn't earn it, you bought it. Okay? And that's a very important distinction here. And you're destroying what he created. Little by little, episode by episode, scene by scene, you are fucking ruining it. Because of your own incompetence and your own inability to see past the world that you're in right now. Your inability to have any creativity or to project your mind beyond this bullshit that we have around us right now. That is your failing, sir, not ours. I think go. Well, listen.
position and see, do you think if the reverse would be happening if the reverse information was coming in? So they're like, no, it's critical, not that it's critical, but it's all critical, including racism, whatever. It's like, okay, so what if praise was coming in, but it was racist? The praise was, I love this show so much because, I don't know, there's mostly white people. I way prefer that because I hate black people, so I love this show. You really think they'd be like, the praise of the show is evil? Like, no, they would happily ignore it. They'd be like, oh, that's just a couple of people that say weird things.
And they happily conflate that. And in the article, Jennifer Salke, the head of the studios, by the way, they put out multiple articles yesterday, so they put a big one out about her $700 million. Now it's not $1 billion anymore, it's 700. The numbers keep changing. It's $1 billion show. And, like, basically, it's a big fluff piece, but at the end it should say her job is on the line right now. And J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, because they were forced within that article to admit that the show is slow. They actually admit that it doesn't have the urgency. They admit failure. This whole thing is admitting failure. But later on, she conflates that there is, valid criticism, but we're not worried about it because it's doing well in the rest of the world, although we're not going to provide you any numbers to back that statement up. We're very happy with it. And while there is criticism, it basically, Tolkien also attracts a certain type of fandom whose ideas we wouldn't believe in. In other words, the Tolkien attracts fascists bullshit, which they put in the article as well. Like, this article is just full of every plot point of Disney, Star Wars, and Ghostbusters 2016's Attack the Fan. It's the bingo card that Master TDS always puts up on Twitter. It's everything. It was so beautiful that it came out yesterday. It felt like Christmas early, to be honest with you. I was like, oh boy.
It's like, I'm going to have a field day with this one.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Like, I guess if you take this into its entirety, right? Like, the marketing campaign for this show, right from the off, it's like they've made every wrong move possible. They've done everything possible to eliminate fans, and every disastrous trailer that they've launched from, trying to go different directions, trying to show you different things, trying to put shitty soundtracks on top of it to make it all moody and emotional and stuff. None of it has worked because you're pissed off the people that you tried to win over. I say you tried to win them over. You didn't really. You pissed off the people that you should have tried to win over. What did they expect? With so much animosity towards this show, nobody was going to give it a chance at this point. I mean, it doesn't help that it is actual garbage at the same time, but
that could have shut us all up immediately. What shut us up with House of the Dragon?
Yes,
like
it's
House
good.
Of the Dragon.
It's actually good. And we had all that baggage that we were carrying around from Game of Thrones, and we tossed that aside.
I'm happily sitting here eating crow on this one because I've got a clip of us in the live stream talking about it and me confidently saying no one's going to give a shit about this show. It's dumb. Why have we got a prequel to a series that ended on such a bad note? It's just another thing for George to do so he doesn't have to write Winds of Windsor. I think it's going to suck. And, well, here we are. I was wrong on that one. Called it wrong. It's been good. It's been really good, and it's getting better with every episode, and I'm pretty invested in it now.
To be fair, there were some elements of those first 2 episodes, I would say, that I think I can't remember if there was a live stream that you boys did that I think Gary said that I wish Rhaenyra hadn't had this victory so easily, getting the egg back from Daemon, that had been more earned. I can't remember if you said it or someone else said it, but and that I was starting to worry about that were they going to just make her this perfect person?
I was too.
Yeah,
we don't have to worry about that.
She is most definitely not a perfect person.
Yes,
No.
She's not at all. She's actually a realistic person, not just one facet of existence.
Well, so that article that was like, how can I root for anybody in House of the Dragon when they're all evil? I was like, holy shit, man! I don't even think of them that way. A lot of these characters, even the evil decisions some of them make, I'm like, oh, you got to understand why.
Prepare yourself.
Just be like, you're all evil. I don't want anybody on the throne.
I think that's just going to be the tough thing about scripted entertainment. What we're dealing with is there's too much literal. That like people are just trying to really project the real world on Westeros, which is supposed to be Middle Ages, like the worst of the worst Middle Ages. It is a patriarchal society. Women are second-class citizens. That's part of the world. Those are the rules of the world. And anytime a woman tries to step out of that, she gets slaughtered. She gets absolutely slaughtered. Or when they occasionally get to the throne, there's so much baggage that they end up being terrible. They end up being absolutely terrible because that's what the world is. That's what the world is. They, people are keep on trying to imprint their own like atheist beliefs and like it's crazy some of the shit I see online being projected on House of the Dragon. Like
this is this fundamental lack of understanding where it's like things like say marriage in the Middle Ages, you do not look at it in the modern context of like two people fall in love and they get married because they want to spend the rest of their days. Unions, particularly amongst like royal families and influential people, they were political business partnerships. That's all they were. And you cannot think of them in the modern context. That's what they're trying to project into things like this. It's the show handhold held those people still. This show was like, you're very to love Rhaenyra, and then if things go wrong, it's like you can't do that anymore, and everybody in this bloody realm has to do things. Even with that, people were like, wow, Rhaenyra's the hero and everyone else is the villain, so she wants to marry someone. Which, by the way, I wouldn't say that's what she's after with what we've seen. She's after the throne. I mean, she wants it. Like, this is, I think something that
she was never after love, yeah.
All the mind-blowing things, I've stopped trying to read reviews from random
Red team!
It's never Rhaenyra as like the hero. I was like, how do you do that?
No, but that's what's great about the show is that you can see the good and bad in both of them, and it's interesting that people are jumping to everyone's bad because that is kind of the perspective that people take these days. That it is very black and white. I'm great, you're bad. You know, it's like if you do one wrong thing, you're cancelled. There's no concept of nuance or apology or like learning from your mistakes. Everything is just.
Okay.
Like I would argue there wasn't like a day.
Finish that sentence. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No. I was got so stuck in my own anger, I couldn't even finish that sentence.
Choose your character.
If there wasn't a Daemon, this would be a different show, though. Like, you know, the Game of Thrones had like some like Sir Davos, Jon Snow. There was like good people. There were still good people to work. There's none of that here. I mean, the last two just died with the strong. Sorry, spoilers. But you have Daemon, like this freaking wild card rogue that people can't predict. That's what's really still holding the whole thing together.
Yeah. I think
Daemon coming in. So.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that is down to like Daemon partly being played by just a really charismatic actor who just like draws your attention? Because Matt Smith absolutely knocks it out of the park with him.
I mean, I'll agree, but I really like Aemon's character. He's an absolute chaos agent, basically.
Yeah.
It's really cool to have a guy who's simultaneously ego-driven and power-hungry, but also will not
Prepare
compromise anyone in his
yourself.
house. Because Targaryen is so important. The Valerians rather. So anyone from Valyria, really. But yeah, seeing this character wrestle between trying to reach for power at the cost of his family members, but also simultaneously can't bring them down in doing it. He keeps like going back and forth between all these really big choices. What's cool is whenever he sets his mind to like a big plan that he's been doing, usually works. Even sometimes to his death rather than he realizes it's a good one. I actually really like him, and I think it's what a fantastic choice to have Matt Smith play.
Yeah.
When Draco, when you and I had our stream, we had talked a lot about what makes a man very, very attractive to women, right? We talked about James Bond.
Clearly, I'm the world's expert on this.
Not that I am either, so it's all good. But I think something about Damon's character, that energy that he has, it is hard to gauge where he's at, and you can see that there's the existence of both good and evil within him. But when it comes to the evil side, or like as psychologists would put it, like his shadow, it's like you can tell it's very integrated. He's very in control with it, and that energy is very powerful and very attractive.
I think the interesting thing about him is that there is agency with him. There's the ability to actually formulate plans and see them through. There's like you say, a chaos films and Marvel films and Disney films, pretty much any mainstream studio now, they don't have agency, they don't have nature, and they don't have balls, really.
Yeah.
Any of the elements that make them mad.
Victory!
They are just
Yeah, they're being carried to the bedroom.
Yeah, I know. And this is, I guess, where they go wrong, because you end up with a fundamentally unsatisfying story and unsatisfying characters for the audience. The men don't have things that they can look up to. They don't have characters they can aspire to be, and women don't have characters that they find actually appealing or attractive.
Choose your character.
Nobody wins.
You know, a comparison. This might make you laugh, but Halbrand is supposed to be like Daemon in the Rings of Power.
Damn, dude.
But
night and day.
It is night and day. So, and what you were just talking about, the Numenori. I don't know if you saw the fight, but like they're just like they're frumpy little boys. You know, they're like not in shape. They're like YouTube.
I said this. They are like skinny teenage boys in plastic armor. Like, where are the men? Where are the big, fucking bearded, muscular men that have fought people that are hardened by battle and hardship and are dangerous and look like they can fucking kill you?
It's funny you say that, because even Rhaenys was describing all the men as balls of seed, the summer night sort of thing. Like, even the show is like, these guys suck. Like,
Yeah, those were those early episodes that I was like, are they gonna just be dunking on men the whole time?
This is what is lacking in shows like Rings of Power, right? Is this desire to make every character young. And so, apart from Elendil, who's like played by a good actor, but I still think they cut his balls off for most of his scenes. But apart from him, all of the male characters are all very young, and young men don't have a great deal of gravitas to them. They don't have a great deal of authority in this one. And so you're lacking that. There's just
what the hell is going on with that cat?
Boys who've got no real authority and power.
No Aragorn type character.
Exactly.
Except they made him Halbrand, except Sauron, and he's the king of the Southlands. The good news we got out of that article, in passing, because they rushed season 2 into production and started 3 days ago. Because it's a reaction to this season. They know it just was a total disaster. But the showrunner said it's going to be a couple years. They're going to work on the next season for a couple of years.
That's translation is like, we know we fucked up, we need to rewrite everything.
In that article, the first paragraph, they're like, we're gonna have a 2-episode battle sequence.
Oh my god! And season 8 again.
Galadriel has a quiver of arrows this time, so she's gonna be fucking shooting arrows. Galadriel.
When we talked about things like the Fellowship of the Ring stuff, that goes on for like 5 minutes, like pretty quick. But it's great because it's got characters in it that you care about. There's a lot of emotion involved.
It's well done.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be this big epic confrontation every time.
Yeah. Even with the second movie, they worried about the Battle of Helm's Deep going on too long, so they did their best to really intercut it and give people a break. Because you really can't be in a battle for that long visually.
No.
Yeah.
It becomes exhausting after a time. And spectacle is no substitute for writing. It's no substitute for character.
Yeah. Can I rant for a second about Galadriel?
We welcome rants here.
Okay, as the three of you know, but the audiences know, I decided not to watch Rings of Power at all. I love Lord of the Rings. I've devoured the movies for the last 20 years, so I just decided not to watch it so it wouldn't ruin it for me. But the part that really bugs me, obviously I'll see tweets and stuff and headlines that obviously the show's not doing well. And what I hate is how they present Galadriel. Because in Lord of the Rings, Galadriel was this ultimate female, beautiful character. And this is what we were talking about earlier, that the only way to now be a powerful character for a woman is to get turned into a man. That she has to wield a sword in order to be considered with any sort of respect, because that's the only way now. And it really sucks because in the movies they did such a beautiful job of showing her femininity and her beauty and her wisdom, and that she had the powers that she possessed were inherently very feminine powers of perception, of being able to see through people, understand their motivations, see how things were going to play out before they were going to play out. And that is what made her a wonderful female powerful character, and she didn't have to pick up a sword. And it ruined all of that. They did not understand that at all.
I mean, well, you know, perception is one thing, but she can explode orbs upside down.
Yeah.
Sorry, for context, I can explain that's an action scene in the final episode. That's the thing that actually happened.
I'm learning so much from you guys about what's actually happening on the show.
The thing is, we would describe it to you, and you would think, like, yeah, these guys are bullshit, and like, none of this stuff could possibly happen, but it absolutely does. But you're right about Galadriel. You know, she was an incredible presence in those Peter Jackson movies and in her books as well. She didn't need to be physically dominant in order to be a powerful character, because she had the ability to make someone melt for her just by looking at her. She had that power of charisma and presence about her. And like you say, she had the perception of who a person was and what they might become. That's a powerful thing. It doesn't need all this other stuff, but it's like this simple-minded view of what a character is to be strong. They have to be physically strong. They have to be able to swing a sword just as strong as a big burly guy.
Or even sit like a man. She, like even on those promo photos they did, she was man spreading, and it's unbelievable. That's what it has to be.
And calling that out as sexist is like, what? You have a woman sitting like a dude with a dagger sitting in for the Johnson. It is like the most blatant thing. And then you're trying to tell us how much respect you would have for Tolkien. He would be pissed. He would be so pissed. He would hate this. And it's disgusting. It's actually a disgusting display of vandalism. You know, like, Peter Jackson got it right when Galadriel, I don't want to say Galadriel, the real Galadriel, she cuts through Boromir. How does she cut through Boromir? What does she tell him? That there's hope. There's still hope.
While the fellowship remains true.
Yep. But there's still hope as long as everything stays true. But he's so broken and black-pilled from his dad and everything that he's seen from Gondor, they breaks him, man. Like,
breaks him.
That's power. That's the real power.
Yeah. That is real power, and I can't believe that this is what they've supplemented it with.
Yep.
But and then, you know, Tolkien also understood that there are aspects of femininity that are very feminine, and then women are also capable of going into the province of men and ride into war like Éowyn did. And he showed both aspects of that she did what another woman may not.
This is the interesting thing, right? Because this was really well built up in the books and the movies, where Éowyn, like in the culture of the Rohirrim, women don't go to war, and it's the same with every culture because, you know, with all due respect, like, they're not that well suited to fight in battles. Like, if they're up against a guy twice their size, they're going to get their asses kicked, so probably they shouldn't be doing it. But she wants to do it. She wants to fight for her country. She wants to serve, and she feels this calling to do it. So she disguises herself as a man. She goes up against one of the most terrifying opponents you could possibly fight, the Witch King, and stands her ground, even though she's absolutely terrified of him. You know, and he breaks her arm, destroys her shield, but she's able to have that moment where she gets an opening and is able to kill him. And it's brilliantly set up, it's brilliantly played out, it's perfectly done. It's very honest about, you know, what was expected of women in societies like this, but also what they can be capable of in the right circumstances. Awesomely done.
Yeah.
It's so beautifully handled, because I think it's only in the extended you get all of this. I can't remember, I'd have to check, but obviously the implication that Mary or herself are going to go into war, the men are like laughing at it, like, so we doing idiots, like, but, and I think a more cynical person might be like, wow, they hate women and people who aren't tall or something, but man, to come full circle, and you get Carl Urban's fantastic performance when he sees that she's in the fight, It's like I remember
he explains. There's a great scene with him earlier talking to her about this because she wants to go to war and he convinces her not to, or he thinks he has, saying like, look, it's the province of men and we don't do this because we love it, but it's our duty, it's our role, and be thankful that you don't have to do it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is a cynical person could be like, he actually just hates women is what it is, but he an emotional, distraught man, like, in the middle of, the battle's over for the most part, people are walking around. He does that in front of everybody because he cares about it so much.
Yeah, he doesn't, and he describes to her the fear of going into war, and that's exactly what she experiences, this unbelievable amount of fear, and what shakes her out of it is seeing that her uncle would be devoured by that creature. And that's what pushes her to overcome her fear, because there's something that matters to her more than being afraid. And it was beautifully done.
Well, there's a great shot where, like, she's standing between him and Theoden, and like he just drops this enormous mace that he's going to swing at her, and she's like this little figure with like a sword and a shield standing in his way, and it's so fucking brilliant. Like, for like a tiny physical presence, but she stood there saying, "No, you're not getting him. You're going to have to go through me first." That is brilliant. That's like human fucking spirit.
We love to see that shit.
In the behind the scenes, when they were filming that scene, the stuntman who was the Witch King of Agmar was constantly throwing this heavy weight against her, and she was like, he was hearing her struggle so much, and he kept hoping that Peter Jackson would call cut, because he could hear just in how much distress she was, and he was like, cut, like, please cut, like, it's hard for me to do this to her constantly, and she just pushed through it.
Again, that prop was incredibly heavy, right?
It was, yes. They did a whole thing on the making of it. Well, it's a little piece on the making of it.
Special time was spent on that mace than all of She-Hulk.
Watch those special features for Fellowship, the ones from the Blu-ray. They're Robert Meyer Burnett worked on those. Brilliant stuff.
But it's great that we, like, us talking about this here, like, you can see how passionate we are about it, how enthused we are about characters like this, because they're actually well done, and they're well built up, and the payoffs are worth it because the setup is so good. And then you get something like Rings of Power, where now you're just pretending like, well, in the Numenorian army, for example, there's women served there. Like, there's no explanation for why they do, they just do. And
then they disappear in the battle. They just completely disappear in the battle. But you know, the best part was that was the big battle episode, and it got just completely schooled by House of the Dragon and a bunch of kids fighting in a cave.
Yep.
That was actually a better fight. It was better coordinated. Had more. It built up all the characters pretty much in one little scene, and had more impact on the entire series. That little cut of an eye has massive impact on the entire series.
Yeah.
It's great.
That had me wincing, that one. Like, when he's like holding his hand against the blood's just absolutely like pulling out.
And they got the cut, like, when it's not like Galadriel's 5 feet away from an exploding orc. I accidentally paused on the cut up, and it looks like really good. It looks proper good. I mean,
that episode was so good.
Yeah, some of the stuff was shot dark, and HBO's explanation was fucking stupid, and they shouldn't have done that. You need to brighten your shit up a little bit.
Turn on a fucking lamp or something. Jesus, I could not see anything. Aside from that.
I had this problem with the episode 6 of Rings of Power, like, especially in the early stages when the orcs get into the tower and stuff. Like, I watched it in the daytime, and I could not fucking see what was happening.
Yeah, you gotta watch it in pitch black.
Yeah, when we watched it, Gary, I was like, I think you said, like, sorry, it's so dark. I was like, I think it's like this, they're trying to, we're not supposed to be able to see, right? It's at the point.
But it goes on and on and on, and it was like, it was a sex scene, so I'm like, oh, whatever, but I wanted to see the dragon. But, I mean, the dragon scene went, like, I went and saw it in my home theater, but not everybody's got a home theater, okay?
Gary, keep showing off, why don't you?
Yeah, I found out just how terrible this TV is from that episode.
Why don't you do this stream from your hot tub next?
Choose your character.
It will be.
Living the life.
Yeah, my wife got that for me for a present, so I'm very proud of it. Yeah. It's all right.
Nice.
All right. Yeah,
But that episode, I loved even the post funeral scene where there's a lot of silence. There are a lot of people. It was a lot of the tension that was building up. It was really well done.
It was. And yes, it was the blue check mark, Chad. That's it. I got my own parking spot now. I need to be called Your Highness or Your Great.
He's one of the boys now.
Those are your pronouns. His Royal Highness.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. That last episode of House of Dragon was so good. It was so good.
Have you got a favorite character out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my temptation is to go for Viserys just because I love Paddy, and he's just such a nice guy, and I feel so bad for him, and he's a good man trying to do his best in a really difficult situation. But each of them has grown on me more throughout the series. Yeah. Like I didn't like Rhaenyra to begin with; I found her really annoying, but now I really like her. I liked Alicent right from the beginning because she seemed like unfairly caught up in the shit situation. Obviously, she's got a more ruthless side now that's coming to the fore because she's older and she's bitter. But I like her for that. I like the nuance to the Paula's older than the age she really is. Yeah, and I like Daemon as well. Partly because Maximus' performance is amazing, but partly he's just got a really interesting multi-layered character. He cares about his family. He cares about his responsibilities. He's flawed. He's ruthless. He's unpredictable. He's dangerous. Like these things, man. Like it's tough to pick between them.
I love the Rhaenyra fans just completely look over her and David like killing a guy, just some random guy in the castle with a double.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I'm like, they just killed an innocent guy.
They're not doing it so that he can have a happy life. They're doing it for their own fucking interests.
Yeah. It wasn't. Real quick. So after in that Hollywood Reporter article, there's I don't see how these people who are saying these things think they are fighting for good. They're patently evil. The following two paragraphs are. This is good. This is really good. Nielsen ratings released September 29th paint a highly successful launch, roughly compatible with Dragons. Roughly. Precise comparisons are nearly impossible because of several factors we won't bore you with, like Amazon not sharing actual real numbers. One industry insider familiar with Amazon's inner workings suggest the other fantasy show's performance, speaking of House of the Dragon, is more anxiously followed than the company lets on. It was never about critics, it's all about consumers, the insider says. All Jeff cares about is consumer obsession. If you look at the history of Amazon, every division lived and died based on that. Dragon matters because all of a sudden there is a benchmark. It is their closest competition to success. When they saw Dragon grew in its second episode and it brought in 20 million viewers, they were shitting their pants. That's in the Hollywood Reporter.
That's a brilliant report for once. That's so telling, man. It really is. Even if it was proven that Ring to Power had more eyes on it than House of the Dragon, change the fact that one of them is shit.
Victory!
Correct. Well, I mean, these are according to this article, which did after fluffing Amazon, they put that in there, and then they follow with Jennifer Salke saying, "I don't really care." These shows are supposed to be looked at as equal. So forget all the fucking numbers. Just listen to yourself, listen to your own ears, believe your own eyes. If they're equal, how is one being perceived in the fandom? One's we have memes coming back to Game of Thrones. We have Free Folk, the Reddit, has come back to life. And the memes aren't making fun of the show. They are diving in as interest in the show. They're still clowning on it a little bit, but not in the way of it sucks. It's no, we're interested and we're going to meme Viserys and put him on, Ben Affleck's face smoking cigarettes. That kind of interest is being generated with House of the Dragon. To the other side, with Rings of Power, where it's just being clowned constantly. It's being trolled, it's being dragged because it's shit. So there's no way you could tell me these shows are equal. They're not. One is absolutely being adored right now, which it's inexplicable to me at this point. And there's still people who are really resistant. And Rings of Power is just getting shat on everywhere it goes. Everywhere it goes. It's undeniable.
Well, I think as well, like, on paper, Rings of Power should be absolutely dominant. You know, it's got access to, like, the most popular fantasy property of all time ever in all of human civilization. Then you've got House of the Dragon, which is a prequel to a once popular show that had a disastrously awful ending that, like, alienated so many fans. It should have been a failure in the making. But it's won people back through the quality of its writing, the work that's gone into it. The fact that they've increased their viewership episode on episode. They are winning people back because they are doing well. They have produced good work. Rings of Power, I guess, has gone in the exact opposite direction. First couple episodes, I would imagine they were massive because people were at least interested to see it. Once they saw it, they realised how shit it was. It's absolutely greater. I bet they won't release the numbers, but that's the direction it will go in. That's the difference between terrible writing and good writing.
Yeah, and it's sad that it's going to have, you know, a second season, but House of the Dragon is just one show, right? It's just one season.
No, 3 seasons I think has going on, yeah.
3 or 4.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
If it goes well, they're going to be so sad that it's not a Game of Thrones level thing they can adapt. Because the end of the third season, they'll be like, oh man, need more. But yeah, they've got like 5 other spin-off Game of Thrones shows. Like, yes, but you won't be able to grab up any of these people, right? Like, this is the thing. I think they're gonna. They must be surprised, even a little bit, that people are responding so well because the vibe is not good between this show and the previous one. Let's put it that way. And then just be like, oh, thank fuck this way. Because, I mean, yeah, as Drew was saying earlier, like, I was not enticed by the trailers. I was like, whatever. Like, they look like the actors that played them. Yeah, there's some people I respect in here, and CG looks pretty good, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, bye. See you.
Yeah, it's all the stuff you remember. Politics, succession, fighting each other, movies, but then another episode you're like, hey, you know, we talk about that thing and that thing? Yeah, it's interesting. Then episode, oh, that crap beat a fight. Oh, yeah, okay, David's pretty cool. Oh, you know, it's the little lines where they say this. Even the, sort of scene flaws, you go, oh, this wasn't so good. Then someone else goes, well, if you think about it, this. And you're like, oh, shit, actually, that makes a lot of sense. And then you find yourself, like, you finishing episode 7, I was just like, oh, man. I need the rest of the season now, please. Yeah. On this end.
It's just come, like, is this absurdity the time that it came out? Like,
Victory!
At the same time as Rings of Power. And the fact that Rings of Power has been so shit, has it driven people towards this almost as an act of protest?
I would say maybe, but I would also go as far as saying it was a glorious coincidence this came out because it proves a very, very strong point. Everyone's complaining that all the racists hate these shows just because of diversity casting or whatever. And then it's like both of these shows were shat on for that before they came out. One of them came out good, one of them came out bad in terms of audience response. Why? And it's really hard for people who would call you a racist to square that away because they're like, because you just like the House of the Dragon is that they might have to like shit on House of the Dragon and be like, House of the Dragon appeals to your more evil things, something patented evil personality traits. So I was like, oh, okay.
The rationale was we moved the goalposts so we could just use it to shit on, like we're told that we like it, or we're faking that we don't like Rings of Power. I don't know, and I honestly don't.
The crazy part to me is that they see that as like evidence of like grifting, where you go, I think this thing's gonna be bad, and then you watch it and you go, no, it wasn't bad. They're like, ha, grifter. You're like, what?
But no, I think it does prove that as jaded as we've been with all this nonsense coming out through Disney, through Marvel, through everything, like, we're still, as a fandom, capable of being excited about something that is good, and we even if, let's say, the initial reviews aren't great, and
2019. There was so much fucking nonsense. I ended up going for 2.5 hours, like I said. And even then, I missed a whole pile of stupid shit that he said. Highly recommended watching though. The 2 videos are really funny. Go and watch them. They're great crack, honestly. There was also a Q&A video this month, which is the first in a while. A lot of it was pretty lame and uninteresting, but he did claim once again that he's finally ready to get under 300 pounds thanks to his therapy, which if you've been following him for any length of time, you'll know he's claimed back a decade ago during Boogie down by 50, or how he said he's going to do it on the run to his wedding, or on the run to his gastro surgery, or when he started doing the swimming this time, or when he started getting ready for the boxing this time. He's made this claim constantly, so I don't think there's any more reach we can put into it than all the other couple times. Also, as a man who's perpetually crying online about things that don't involve him or don't matter, he says he doesn't cover gaming news anymore because it's too negative. As, you know, he makes a video this month about Twitch drama, the Disney movie drama, the obesity crisis, a webpage being taken down, making a video exploiting his dead mother views once again. But, you know, I'm glad he drew the line at video games being too negative for him to talk about. He also covered going back to his hometown for his origin story, where he says he doesn't redo it now and maybe do an extra part because apparently McJuggernuggets was the one who totally ruined the entire series by making it into a skit. You know, despite Boogie very clearly acting during it, or staging props in his old house, or telling his mom's grades that he had 4 million subs on YouTube. No. It was McJuggernuggets' fault for saying, "Whoa, dude, I can't believe that was unlocked," once or twice in the fucking videos. No, it's all McJuggernuggets' fault. Fucking fine. Also, with like no self-awareness at all, he touches on how his therapy has taught him to not care what other people say before immediately going into a rant about conservatives and Republicans. It's just bizarre. It's just like, why do you say it so often when you so clearly still get upset about it? It makes no fucking sense. He also did 2 character sketches this month, one of which suggests he looks like a setting Foxwood, because he's literally as funny as childhood leukemia, and Hilarious Francis, which I didn't watch because I saw him do the whole fucking Francis skit about 3 separate times on his first live stream. You guys can just write it in your head if you really want to. The only funny bit was afterwards he did the same thing he usually does, where he posts stuff online and he's like, well, I must be doing something right, because apparently they're negative comments the same way he did when he was doing his Francis MC rounds or any of his other fucking rounds, pretending that people care about his opinion to act like he's some beacon of cultural speech when people, like, literally don't give a single shit about what he said because he's crying online and upset about a Disney movie and not realizing the irony that he is actually crying because he's upset that people are upset about a fucking Disney movie. He has this weird thing in the fucking skits where he he's like, all these fans, they all love Disney and are obsessed with Disney, go to Disneyland 3 times a year and they get all the toys and all and they're big children. And it's like, literally, that's what you do. You're like the only one who does that. You're the one who goes like, I wanted to kill myself in 2019, so I went to Disneyland 4 times, spent all my fucking money. You're the man-child here. It is so weird when he projects that on the people who don't like Disney. The people who don't like Disney aren't the ones going to fucking Disneyland. How the fuck does that make any sense? He also made a video about fat people this month, and I watched it on live stream, so I didn't really feel the need to cover it again for this. Just picture in your head him talking about obesity, and you'd more or less have it, where pretty much it's everyone else's fault but him for being fat, how it's his parents' fault for giving him too much food, how he grew up in poverty again, apparently, and if you're in poverty, you can't help but be fat because you can't afford lettuce. I don't fucking know. In poverty. I will fucking die on this hill. He did not grow up in poverty if he's able to afford every fucking games console. He also posted a video of him shopping for Halloween decorations, which is quite literally just him shopping for Halloween decorations. Like, I would never get that for 4.5 minutes back in my fucking life. We also got another therapy video with him, not even trying to make a fucking thumbnail this time. It's like 12 minutes long, and it's probably his most frustrating video of the month. It's another one of his videos where he starts off by staring at it's going to be hard for me to do this. He says he's been doing like therapy since he's 15, but it makes it so weird that he's acting like this is the first time he's ever been in therapy. During the video, he says that a decade ago he sorted out his childhood issues and got a tutorial of it, which is weird when about 80% of his fucking online content is literally just him complaining about being fat and about how his childhood caused it, how his parents caused it. You know, his parents who died 12 to 13 years ago at this point, and it's been 30 years persons who live in their fucking house, but it's still their fault that he's fat. It's basically just him ass-patting himself the rest of the time, saying how his therapist taught him he doesn't love himself, but secretly, guys, I hate myself despite how amazing I am, and how everyone keeps telling me how amazing I am, how everyone keeps telling me I'm a great person. It's so bizarre. He even repeats the fucking lie that he gives people money online. He sneaks into fans' DMs and just gives them money and stops his fans from becoming homeless, but no one has ever confirmed that he's done this. He also then edits the etiquette thing again, where he praises himself for his mental strength and says how, he made it to his age, and most people with his issues don't because they kill themselves. Literally holding a fucking finger gun against his head and pulling the trigger. This is the exact same shit he did when Etiquette died, saying how, I wasn't such a titan of mental health and strength and fortitude, I would have killed myself. Glad we're on 3 years from that, he still hasn't fucking learned. It just comes across as so fucking narcissistic when he says that he has to learn to acknowledge that he's a good person. And a bit of bluntly, you aren't a good person, Cookie. If you have to keep lying and changing the past, you are a bad person. Good people don't need to change history every time they retell a story. Good people don't need to roleplay and make up shit about other people just because they're scared of their opinion and existence. Good people also don't feel the need to censor other people and to take their own side because you're upset that they said you're fat and they won't have sex with you. You don't have to blame long dead people for your current position in life if you're actually a good person.
Victory!
His next video was an experience. As he somehow manages to shill 5 different times in an 8-minute video, somehow he makes Twitch changing its payment structure into an excuse to whine about Ethan Klein for the 200th fucking time, and to also randomly praise livestream fields for gathering information, which is so damn funny since livestream fields was the biggest subreddit sharing his Tesla drama, and he cried and he literally blamed them for ruining his career by misrepresenting him. Basically his take is just him crying about Twitch cutting the salaries of the largest streamers and saying how they're all probably going to leave YouTube now and to take their audience with them. Boogie, how'd that work out for Ninja and Mixer again? Mixer's still around, isn't it? Oh, well, fuck. You'd think like a professional YouTuber and streamer wouldn't say something so incredibly fucking stupid, huh? Since we're going into the Spooky month, and since Boogie finally remembered that Magic Mondays fucking exist, he made a video that has a thumbnail that is somehow less tasteful than my 3 AM challenge thumbnail. And it's also a video where he just tells 2 spooky stories that apparently happened in his life at some point, and, exploits his dead mom confused, yet again. The first story is that when he was a tiny little child, he had a ghost that kept opening the basement door at night, which caused him to have to get up to keep closing it. When he then had a falling out over the phone with his long-distance girlfriend, he obviously didn't exist, he got angry and shouted at the ghost for opening the door, and the ghost closed the door again. Okay, firstly, Boogie claims that he didn't have a girlfriend until he was like 16 and it was the black girl, so apparently that's fucking nonsense. Secondly, we have Boogie out here being the fucking ghost whisperer because he was a virgin with rage and he shouted at the ghost and the ghost felt bad about it and still fucking great. The second story is the same one he's told about 50 times about his mom's ghost touching him on the shoulder. Weirdly, as he was saying, I've never been able to tell you guys before about the closure I got with my mom before she died, and I don't think I should tell you, but okay, I think I'm finally ready to tell you. And then he proceeds to tell us exactly the same story he's told us so many fucking times before. The long and the short of it pretty much is that his mom wanted to die and refused treatment, so when the doctor showed up to try and treat her, he said he'd fight them if they did it, and then they finally said that they'd call security if he tried to stop them, so he immediately backed down and let them force treatment on his mom against her wishes, which makes no sense because apparently his mom wasn't mentally competent or anything like that, so they can't actually force treatment on someone who is mentally able to turn down treatment, so that already doesn't make sense and it's stupid. But if the story is real, then Boogie pretty much just let them work on his mom without her consent because he was like, I'm scared of security throwing me out. It is so pathetic and cocked, especially for a guy who's like, I stood up for my mom and I said through my dead body, and then they said they called security, so I was like, okay, but I'm not happy with this. I'm pissed though that he left out this very important part of the story.
Watch out!
Chad was there with me, and we watched Mission Past, and eventually her heart rate dropped to 40, 20, 30, 20, 10. Then eventually it was so faint that the machine couldn't pick it up, but I held her hand the whole time, and her hand turned cold. There was no magic to it. There was no angels. There was no chorus of angels. There was no teleportation. She was there one moment and she wasn't. And my sister left the room crying, and then Chad stood at the foot of the bed, and I couldn't find the strength to eat, I couldn't find the strength to move, and I sat there with her for 10 minutes and 15 minutes. And Chad said to me that day, listen to that one. He said something that motivated me, something that respected me, and the difference, all the difference.
Match point. Blue team.
I'm taking
He
you
said,
to that.
if you want to fight her, you want to do it while she's still alive.
The last video of the month is another video from therapy, and it's pretty much just outlining how he's always the victim, and how none of the previous public fuckers are his fault. It's all his bad mental health, and all these subreddits blowing things out of proportions and bullying him. And like I said, yeah, he's back to blaming Reddit only because he's totally forgot that fucking Kiwi Farms even exists at this point. He talks about how he doesn't even know what it's like to go through his parents' death, how he has no self-confidence, and how he basically can't be held accountable for anything he does, and also that he hates himself and thinks he's a shit person. But of course he then does the immediate fuck-up he does every single time, where he cries about how people think he's a shit person, but then very quickly rushes down. Oh, but anyone who knows me in real life thinks I'm a really good person, and I should listen to them because they all tell me I'm such an amazing person. People who actually hate themselves don't always try and correct the criticism of them by saying, well, everyone who knows me actually thinks I'm good. You might think I'm shit, because everyone who knows me thinks I'm amazing. So, how the fuck do you mess this up in every single one of these rants? It's like impossible to do this every single time, but somehow he manages it. Where he can't let himself even criticize himself. So he has to critically say, but everyone knows me thinks I'm amazing. So you don't hate yourself, and this is just your narcissism talking, where you're feigning that you like hate yourself and all, like, don't be mean to me, guys. I'm beating myself up more than you ever could. But then, I mean, you go, oh, but everyone tells me I'm amazing. I really should listen to them when they tell me I'm literally amazing. No one fucking does that. Oh yeah, and also because of this new way of thinking, Boogie says he's lost 3 pounds. Problem with that being, this was posted on the 27th. On the 28th, he listed himself as being 398.3 pounds. So, thank you for admitting you went over 400 pounds again, Boogie. Much appreciated. You've done the math for me there. And yeah, guys, that's the video. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Be a fat cuck. It was like, what the fuck was Frank doing to ruin your life? Like, even showing up to your house wouldn't ruin your life. I've had weirdos at my door, like, you know, like, not people knowing that I have a shitty YouTube channel, but I've had weirdos show up at my door before, like meth heads asking if they can use my phone. It happens, you know, count your tits, bro.
Okay? And decided to make a...
Well, I don't believe any of those things.
Well, but he does. Clearly he does. That's what he said on Keepstar's podcast last night. For weeks now, he's posted on his Twitter every day, there will be a reckoning. Hey, I'm coming to you. And then Saturday night, he showed up in my hometown and took a photo on Dixon Street, 3.4 miles from my home. And tagged me in it and said, I'm here in your town, you fucking pussy. And I made it abundantly clear that if he came here, I would use self-defense as I'm entitled to do. And when he came here today, I used self-defense. Now, I get that you might think there are masterminds behind this, that there's some sort of magic.
There's no masterminds included.
Just because you're so low that you might think shit like this, just because you're so low that you...
What? Like, what the fuck? Okay, firstly, where the fuck is voodoo coming to this? That's a bit of a fucking weird one. But at the same time, it's just the whole, like, oh, you know, he said he was coming to my house and he told him that he didn't have any self-defense. Self-defense doesn't work when you leave your house, right? If you approach a threat, there's no longer self-defense. If you're putting yourself at risk, you can't use self-defense. That's what the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing was kind of based on. If anyone remembers that case or cares anymore, I mean, no. But the whole case with Kyle Rittenhouse was, did he start the fight? Because if he started the fight, then it's no longer self-defense. You can't use self-defense if you are the one who began the fight. So if I walk up to you and point a gun at you, and you pull a gun on me, I can't then shoot you and say, well, I shot him in self-defense, he was going to shoot me. If you get what I mean. So Boogie going out at him is like, it's the opposite of self-defense. Like, I'm sure everyone already knows that, like, look, you know, just showing you how to cat his skins or whatever the fucking race is.
You not lie about shit like this?
I would never lie.
Does not mean the rest of us are. Does not mean the rest of us are.
Fine.
Do not project that shit onto me.
I'm not projecting it onto you. I'm asking a question. And
I get that you're low enough to fix something like this. I get that. I'm not.
Boogie, I'm not, for one, I have a job. I wouldn't speak anything like this for anything. I'm asking a question based upon something that is now a nationally trending news story. And I'm asking questions about it, so thank you for your time. I do really appreciate that. It's not that my attempt here is not to slander you or propagate bullshit. I'm literally just talking to things through my own mind, because that's the way that I think.
If I was in here beating children and fucking hookers and stuff, sure, I'd be glad to pay for this shit. But it's hard enough having to pay for something that I've done. The last fucking thing I
Blue team!
Like I said, in retrospect, this is going to look a wee bit weird because we now know that in September 2020 he had been fucking hookers and all. It's like, why when you're listing it's like, yeah, that you're accusing me of like killing people and raping and killing kids, you also accuse me of sleeping with a hooker. It's just like, I don't really think any of the rest of that really matters, you know, like it's what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's just it's Boogie being so weird. It's when I look at something like Boogie, okay, he does something like that. In my head, it's him trying to elevate that to the level of nonsense because of his like
match point. Red team.
Like the fucking Chad, super sex slayer. Like, you know, like he is now, to be fair, with his new fake girlfriend. But back then, he really wanted us to believe I'm out there slapping pussy because you don't fucking do that. But we're all like, no, you're not Boogie. Like, we know you. You're just some weirdo. He has to pay for sex. So back then, he wanted to have people hear this, and in their head, have him having to pay hookers for sex be up there with as ridiculous as him being like a child beater and raper, you know? That's what he wanted. It's what he did with the whole Salmon Talking subreddit. He didn't care that 99.99999% of the entire thread was accurate, and it was just documenting shit he had done, like bad shit he had done, like racist stuff he had said, homophobic, transphobic, everything like that. Everything went against his nice guy image. But then he wanted to be like, see, if you go to line 2,461, there's a spelling mistake, and they said that I touched a kid once. I didn't actually, so the entire thread is wrong. That's what he's trying to do here.
Want to pay for is pieces of shit like you telling people that I'm faking this, that I'm a willing participant in something so
I didn't say
dire
that you
that I am a willing participant
in
something so fucking dire. Please don't ask questions like that. Have some fucking integrity.
No, because the thing is, here's some questions
that are absolutely not based in reality. Why do you rape babies? Well, I'm just exploring it, Matt. I'm just exploring you raping children.
Why would you explore that?
Why? This is pretty fucking uncomfortable, isn't it?
No, because I'm waiting for you to finish, because I see what you're trying to do.
Shit on my mouth.
So when you accuse me of something so fucking violent, Matt, it feels pretty shitty.
But, okay, and that's perfectly fine, and I'm glad, and I understand why you feel that way, and I'm glad you feel that way, to be honest with you. But then, look at this again from an outside perspective. When you look at it from the way that the media is, in this particular regard, the one angle of which it was basically put out there, which is through Keem's video. That's the one place where people are going to be going and getting all the info.
I agree with the Earl Pipe guy. This is why I said it was really cringe and kind of awkward to watch. It was about this kind of time I dipped out, because I was just sitting there
prepare yourself.
I would say I'm nicer about Boogie than a lot of people who hate him. Like, I'm generally nicer to him, but even at this point, I would be like, you dickhead. Why is your port of call to randomly say, do you fuck kids? Do you beat your wife? It's like, why is that always the two things you go to? It's the only thing that you have in your arsenal, and it's weirdly the things that people accuse you of. Like, it kind of makes me think that it's always on your mind, that you aren't just living rent-free in your head if you are always thinking about that. But that's just a pussy. Like, it's why everyone jokes about calling him like a cock soy boy, because he does just kind of sit there and take this, and it's like, man, I know that Boogie's your friend, but it's like, you're a fucking podcast. Tell him to shut the fuck up, stop being such a retard. You know, it's just like, no, I obviously, yes, I understand. I understand. You know, it's strap on a pair for fuck's sake.
And the way that whole video segment that he put together is edited with music, with dramatic effect, the way that it's cut together. It's presented in a way that is highly produced. And usually when this is based upon my training, my schooling, my life and livelihood when I lived in Los Angeles.
Well, there's 200 views, man.
Just like that, there's something about it that's not real. So then my question becomes, what part of this?
And now let me show you my perspective, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm not from Hollywood. I don't do any of that shit. I don't know about any of the shit you're talking about. I thought you and I were friends. I've backed you every step of the fucking way. I literally never said a bad goddamn thing about you a single fucking time. Because I thought we were friends. And I guess we're not. If you think so fucking little of me to think that I would be a willing participant in something so vile.
I was asking
something so
okay, fine.
fucking vile.
I apologize for that because that wasn't.
There's no apology for that, man. That's it. That's it.
That's fine.
There's no apology for that.
That's fine.
No apology for that. That's it. That's it. I think as little of you as I do any other person about that.
That's fine. I'm totally okay with that because I'm not going to sit there and feel bad for asking questions about something that I don't have the full information.
How about you ask me? How about you ask me if we're friends? You asked me where I shot the gun. Why didn't you ask me if it was fake? I would have told you the truth. Why do you think I have zero fucking integrity? Why do you think I have zero?
I don't think you have zero integrity.
Then why the fuck did you ask me?
Well, the thing is I do. Like, the whole point of him saying, oh, well, why don't you just ask me about this? Why? Because even by this stage in his life, when he was like known for lying about fucking everything, like this was 2020, like I said, his massive fall came like 2018, 2019. So by this point, he was already turned his goods. Like, so I understand people not immediately buying into all this shit. Some of the
Match point. Blue team.
Whatever. But the thing is, with him seeing like
match point. Red team.
Hollywood, so he's been in more shit than Matt has. That's a fucking nobody. Not just to get a couple thousand views per video, like, I can't talk shit obviously at the time, but he used to get a couple thousand views per video, and he'd been the only content because of Gamer Guy he got like a false strike against him, so that's what he got. And he's been in like professional commercials, he's been on news shows and stuff like that, he's been on TV shows, like I don't know about any of this.
That's the stream for now. Gizmo
applied for reality gaming
is 2,000 coins.
Continue.
And right now we have 1,053 or whatever. And I think I'm gonna do a Resident Evil stream at some point. I might have to finish Village, but we'll see. I made a couple more playlists just to keep everything organized. And oh shit. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later.